Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. In this post, we are going to expose the hoaxaliciousness. Yes, that is a real word. I invented it. It's the only way to describe this mainstream media. We're going to take it apart, Truth Seeker. Before we started, I want to point something out about the Dow. Dow Jones has a gematria of 33. Important number to bankers. 33 is coded all over the dollar bill. Also, 93 and 39 are very important to Judaism and Zionist Israel, which I have pointed out. Notice that the Dow's up 93.33 today. That's how it closed. And today is 7/7, July 7th. The word Judaism equals 77. The American meridian is the 77th meridian. Important numbers, syncing up, showing you just how big the hoax is. It's bigger than the news. It's the stock market. It's all of us. We're all taking a real ass ramming. And right here, what I'm about to be decoding is one more of these ass rammings, how they are served to us on the daily. So let's get into it.
A fighter jet and a small Cessna should not be on a course that would allow them to collide. That goes without saying, but it happened 11 miles north of Charleston, South Carolina today. The pilot of the
11 miles, and yes, it was at 11 o'clock in the afternoon. 11:11.
F-16 safely ejected from the plane. He was taken to a hospital and is expected to be okay, but the Cessna was broken into pieces, some of the wreckage on land, some in a...
Good God, Truth Seeker. Can you imagine a jet engine from a plane crash coming to rest on the side of a mobile home? And it looks like it's a tight area in here. I mean, we have another trailer here. We got even a... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's just too much. News for fucking morons. End of discussion. It's always been this way. Really, this looks no different than September 11th, Truth Seeker. I don't know how anyone was ever fooled that day. I just turned 18. Hardly even an adult, as we legally consider it. And I saw right through that day from square one. I don't know where everyone else has been. All right, let's move on.
River. Both people on board the private plane died, according to the NTSB. Take a listen to a woman who witnessed all of this right before her eyes.
I have to go back. Was that a firewoman in yoga pants? Hold on. What kind of response is this? I thought we had a military plane crash.
Or the private plane.
Yeah, yoga pants. Okay. Wow, this is just such a joke. My God.
Died, according to the NTSB. Take a listen to a woman who witnessed all of this right before her eyes.
I just seen one plane coming this way, one going this way, and then they just exploded in midair and fireball and.
And then the engine came to rest on my trailer. You know what's funny about this woman? This is the best crisis actor I've seen yet. Take them all. Sandy Hook, Boston Marathon bombing, the million other ones. I'm giving this lady the globe. Here we go.
Then the plane landed in my yard.
And she got very emotional because, again, she saw that all unfold. We do know that an NTSB investigator is on the way as we speak. Some critical questions remain unanswered. Were both aircraft authorized to be in that airspace? Were the pilots talking to air traffic control? Were air traffic controllers talking to them? And did the pilot of that Cessna get a traffic advisory warning that that F-16 was in the area? All critical in understanding how this deadly midair collision happened. Jim, we should point out, this is incredibly rare. You don't see this sort of thing happening often. This was a clear breakdown in the air safety system.
This is a clear fuck you is what it is, Truth Seeker. My goodness. Alright, so let's just see why this is so sick. I mean, not only is this a deliberate plane hoax, it also is directly connected to the church shooting. This is now the third event in the Charleston area. We like to see things in threes. But something tells me there's a much bigger event coming to Charleston, and I think this is foreshadowing it. If you haven't seen my post on the church shooting, it is very much connected to this Lewisfield plantation. First of all, did you notice that the plantation was established in the year 1774? I've done several videos showing how everything about the church shooting in Charleston was coded out with 74. It happened on Calhoun Street. Calhoun has the gematria of 74. The shooter's name, Dylan Stormroof, a ridiculous name on the surface, has Pythagorean gematria of 74. He was arrested on Interstate 74. He was discovered by a woman named Debbie Dills, which sums to 47. The reverse is 74. Bible study class has gematria of 47 and 74. The senator who died, Clementus C. Pinckney, his name spelled that way, has gematria of 74. Lots of coding in his name that connects to Charleston and South Carolina. I have a video on him. You can check that out. This shooting came exactly 74 days after the Walter Scott shooting, also in Charleston, where the police officer shot the innocent man unarmed in the back several times. Hoaxalicious as well. That shooting was on the 47-year anniversary of the MLK assassination, April 4th. This date has a connection to April 4th. July 4th, when spelled out with Pythagorean gematria, sums to 44. The kill number, like the date Walter Scott died on, 74 days before the church shooting of June 17th. All of these incidents are highly Masonic. I did a video on the Walter Scott shooting and showed all the Freemason connections to the police officer, the whole ordeal. This is what our media is. Ran by a secret society of Freemasons, possibly a few other affiliations, and they're hoaxing the hell out of us by their numbers, by their principles over and over. If you think I'm wrong, watch my 570-some videos and then get back to me. If you say you don't have the time, what do you have time to do? Go watch the bullshit movies that the Zionist Jews feed you? Go sit in front of the TV and watch their bullshit programming? You should seize the moment and watch these videos while you still can and they're still up. Anyhow, this number 74 is super important in Christianity. The man who founded the church, can't think of his name off the top of my head right now, his name also sums to 74, but Jesus and cross are both 74, just like Muhammad in the Quran, just like the word Messiah. Of the 50 states, only one has a gematria of 74, in case you were thinking every word summed to 74. Just one of the 50 states. It happens to be the 33rd state, Oregon, just like Jesus crucified on the cross at 33. And 33 and 74 often get paired. In this video, I was just showing how the Black Panther Party is now speaking in town, and Black Panther Party has that gematria of 74. So, 74 is all abound, even in this story of the crash into the plantation established in 74. Now, there's a lot more coding here, Truth Seeker. Lewisfield Plantation was added to the National Reserve of Historic Places on May 9th, 5-9, a number coded all over black people throughout history, and plantations are where slaves were. All of these words have 59 gematria, Truth Seeker. Let me show you this plaque first. Lewisfield Plantation was originally bought by Sedgwick Lewis. Check this out, Truth Seeker. Sedgwick Lewis has gematria of 59, with the S exception 77. And this story comes on July 7th, 7/7, the anniversary of the train bombings, all coded with 77. This story looks as hoaxalicious as what was given to us on September 11th. Bogus footage, details that didn't add up. On that date, the Flight 77 hit the 77-foot-tall Pentagon that's located on the American meridian, the 77th meridian. So I think this story came today on 7/7 because of this Sedgwick-Lewis connection. It's called Lewisfield, which happens to have gematria of 59. It's once where slaves worked. Slave has gematria of 59, just like Negro, just like tobacco, which the plantation grew. In Black history, Motown Records established in 59. Birth control came out that year. The word kill in Jewish gematria sums to 59. In simple English gematria, it sums to 44, like the date MLK was assassinated. Like Obama, the 44th president who ran on hope, another word with 44 gematria. This name's been coded over people throughout history that are in stories that provoke racially. Rodney King equals 59. Recently, Rachel Dolezal, the white woman pretending to be black, equals 59 with her bizarre name. They also like to code the numbers 42 on Black People Truth Seeker. Rodney King was born April 2nd. Rachel Dolezal's story came from Washington State, the 42nd state. Look at this word, Truth Seeker. Look at the gematria of it. 597759. This stuff is sick. This is why this story is happening today, this completely bullshit story. They've probably had that RV parked there for 5 years with that piece getting rustier up against it. The lady who saw the plane go boom. Oh, God. Look at the word kill in Gematria Truth Seeker. 59, 44. Do we have to ask ourselves why 59 is coded all over black people? These Zionist Jews have it out for the blacks. They love to use and exploit them worse than anybody else. Also, I've been pointing out how the number 122 is getting coded into everything right now. Today we got a story about a plantation. Here's plantation in simple English gematria. Just like Confederate flag. Just like Confederate flag. Rachel Dolezal in simple English gematria. Before it was Pythagorean, or it was 59. Rodney King in simple English gematria. Again, before it was Pythagorean. Black Panther Party acronym 122. Remember, it sums to 74 when spelled out. Look at this plantation, Truth Seeker. It's just a hair off Route 52, and there's a whole lot of 52 coding going on lately right now. And I've been talking about this in every video. The Women's World Cup team just won 5-2 in a totally rigged game. And look at this. The plantation's 2.5 miles from Route 52. It's crazy. It's on the 33rd parallel. It's also on the 79th meridian. The word murder equals 79. Makes me wonder what kind of sick stuff's gone down at this plantation in the history of time. And one more thing, Truth Seeker, I've been talking about how 106 is coded on a lot of things right now. 5 plus 9 is 14, plus 19 more is 33, plus 73 more is 106. And I've been talking about how 106 is coded all over the church shooting. Remember, the fire truck was parked outside. Number 106, and it had a Tea Party flag flying, which seemed really random, which summed to 106. Then we realized that the church bombing of 63 on September 15th, 1963 also has numerology date of 106. Then we noticed how nuclear bomb had gematria of 106, and a movie about a nuclear bomb going off in Charleston Harbor was released on March 20th, 83. Another way of extracting a date numerology, a connection to 106. Earlier this year, we had a train traveling from Philadelphia to New York going 106 miles per hour, engine number 601. All this stuff's part of a sick joke, Truth Seeker. We had a drill called Top Off 4 in 2007. Largest nuclear blast simulation drill in the history of the planet. It's called Top Off 4, which had gematria of 33 and 4, a lot like nuclear bomb. My point is, with all these stories, with all these drills, with all this news, with all this coding, they're taking us somewhere. There's a reason all these numbers are on the same incident. Check this out. Here's what I want to show you about this from CNN's reporting. Bear with me. If you're already numbered out, stick with me. There's more important details. I have to show you just how sick this is. So this was a F-16 hitting a Cessna at about 11 a.m., about 11 miles from Charleston. We went over all the Lewis Field plantation stuff, but notice how CNN spells it Lewis Field Planation. They spelled it wrong, and I don't see CNN spell stuff wrong very long, so I wanted to check the gematria of Lewis Field Planation, like a plan. I really think this is part of the sick joke. Lewis Field Planation happens to have gematria of 98. a number being connected to all these things, which is tied to Lupercalia, the festival on the 44th day, which goes back to the assassination of Caesar, possibly earlier, which happened in 44 BC. 44, the kill number. Lupercalia is on the 44th day of the year. I've talked about how in all these videos, all these fake stories are synced up with Lupercalia. So Lupercalia has gematria of 98, and Lewisfield planation spelled this way sums to 98. The recent church shooting came 98 days before the Pope's visit. One of the original details in the story was that the shooter had Timberland boots on. And I thought, what the hell kind of detail is that? Timberland, 98, just more of this coding. So possibly this is a mistake by CNN and a coincidence, but the fact that it hits these numbers makes me think it's deliberate. The names in the story are ridiculous. Michael Mule, name gematria. Oh boy. Jim Peters. He has this 43 coding. 43 is what Charleston sums to, what Civil War sums to, what Pinckney sums to. The shooter at the church was born on April 3rd, 4-3. Once upon a time, the Civil War began because of Lincoln, who was born on the 43rd day of the year. Yada, yada, yada. There's so much coding, Truth Seeker. But get this with the F-16 and the Cessna. Remember, in Charleston on June 17th, it was a church shooting. Church has this gematria of 61, just like God and Jewish gematria. God has this connection to 156, which is connected to South Carolina, 156, which is connected to the name Walter Scott, 156. And somebody else showed me something sick. The name Walter L. Scott, sometimes how it's written, sums to 168. The church shooting was on the 168th day of the year. These numbers, they're thorough with it. It's how they are projecting and coding all of these incidents. I can't say it enough. So look at this. Church equals 61. So does Cessna. Cessna equals 61. Pythagorean 16, the reflection of 61. It was hit by an F-16. An F-16 hit a Cessna. And think about F-16. F is the sixth letter, so if you turn F to 6, it becomes a 616. A 616 hit a 16, or a 616 hit a 61. Truth Seeker, if you think this is nutty, go watch my videos, please, please, please. I am showing how all this stuff is synced up through the news, through sports. There was recently a no-hitter with 106 pitches on a date with 61 numerology, and the pitcher had 16 strikeouts. All at the time of this church shooting with all the same numbers coded on it. And now here we get a story about a plane crashing in a plantation that has all of these numbers coded all over it. Give me a break. Colonel Stephen Jost, another ridiculous sounding name, another 33 name. All these numbers coded, Truth Seeker. I mean, just look at that crap. This fell out of the sky. There's no damage to this. I mean, you would think this would be like destroyed in, knocked over maybe, big hole. No, instead just resting nicely. And I'm telling you, Truth Seeker, they do this stuff as a litmus test to see how fucking retarded we still are. It's like they do this story and they go, oh, no commotion from the public, still fucking retarded. We're on point. Heading for the big hoax, which is what I've been telling everybody since September 11th, 2001. That's why there's so much stress in my voice. I've been talking for all these years about what a hoax we're living through, how people need to wake up to this fake media, how they're taking us somewhere bad. Only for 2 years have I understood the numerology and gematria, though. In the end, they give us that thing about it being 7.3 miles. I've been talking about how 37 and 73 are getting coded a lot lately. Had that first Triple Crown winner in 37 years. It was the 12th Triple Crown winner. 37 is the 12th prime number. But yeah, Truth Seeker, that's pretty much the extent of the message. I hope I was clear enough. It's just getting so frustrating watching them do this over and over and get away with it. I almost feel like I really have to do it. I mean, there's a lot going on in South Carolina. I think something bad's coming there. Also for San Francisco. They're probably going to, in the next 9/11, they're probably going to hit us on both shores. You know, they're going to make it bigger. They're going to scare more of the country at once, make it all feel more local. They might even hit the middle of the country. You know, they just did that attack where they said it was ISIS in France, Tunisia, and where else? Kuwait. And Truth Seeker, on my written blog, I decoded them. Tunisia sums to 93, and they're saying 39 people died. These same numbers that they like to code over and over and over. On 9/11, it was flight 93 of 33 passengers, 93 World Trade Center bombing. The first plane to hit the giant 11s, the World Trade Centers in the 11th state. You know, those big 11s in the sky known as the World Trade Center that came down that day. The first floors hit were floors 93 through 99 by Flight 11. This flight was at 11 a.m., about 11 miles from Charleston. They got the 911 right up there for you. It's just fuck you over and over, Truth Seeker. Groundhog's Day. Groundhog's Day. And we need to start, you know, pointing out who's really behind this. It's these guys right here. That's why they taught us the word anti-Semite, because we've been raised by them. There's no other word when you speak ill of a race or a religion. We don't have any words coded into us. We'll say bigot, racist, but we don't have a specific word like anti-Semite when people speak illy of Jews. But in this case, I'm just speaking truthfully. I'm outing these people for what they're doing. This is who runs our media. This is who does these sick racist jokes. I mean, look at how long this shit's been going on for, Truth Seeker. This stuff's been going on hundreds of years. I don't know how somebody didn't figure this out before me. Seems like it should have been figured out. Look, way back when. Listen to this. Tradition has it that during the Revolution, Colonel Wade Hampton took 78 British prisoners and burned 2 boats with supplies and plunder at the nearby river landing. Well, I can already tell you that story is a hot load of fucking bullshit, because both the names Wade and Hampton have gematria of 33, their favorite numbers to code into the hoaxes. And notice how Hampton in simple English gematria sums to 87, the reflection is 78. Like I've been saying all this time and adding evidence with each one of these stories, our entire history is by the numbers, a gigantic joke. With regards to all this 52 coding to Truth Seeker, the word revolution has gematria of 52, Pythagorean. If you don't know how to do gematria yet, watch my how-to video on the main page, or just go to YouTube and type in how to gematria. My video will pop right up. You'll be all squared away, you'll have the skills, and you'll see with new eyes. This is the video right here, how to gematria. You don't even have to watch all 31 minutes. You'll get it if you're quick within the first 10. All right, Truth Seeker. Till next time. Encore, Truth Seeker. I just want to make one last point so it's clear. I want to show how this syncs up with the Walter Scott shooting as well, which happened on April 4th. In gematria, if you write out 44 in Summit, it sums to 144 in simple English gematria. And if you write out April 4th, the date Walter Scott died on, the date Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on, April 4th also sums to 144. As I was saying, everything's being calculated from Lupercalia this year, the festival on the 44th day of the year, which is February 13th. From February 13th to July 7th, the date of this incident is 144 days. And the thing about July 7th is it has gematria of 44. See that? July 7th, Pythagorean gematria here, they call it reduced. It's just like Lupercalia. Lupercalia also sums to 44. So 44, 144, April 4th, they all have this relationship in numbers. And as I said, all these stories are being measured from Lupercalia. It's the base date for all of it. I think it has a lot to do with we're in the time of Obama's presidency, the 44th president. And again, Caesar was once upon a time assassinated in 44 BC on the 74th day of the year. March 15th on the current calendar. And again, we started with that number 74. How it all comes together, 44, 74. So that's the Sync Truth Seeker. Hope I gave it to you clear enough. All right, until next time.